So my people, you're welcome to this live video. As you can see, we are not doing any topic, but I wanted to ask questions and you to ask questions so that we can answer it together and interact together. So I'm just using this video of what Kanu said when he was trying to take over from Uwazurike. Keep in mind that Uwazurike brought him into the business. Uwazurike just said, guy, I noticed that you can talk very well. Come and help me to be doing all this video. Come and broadcast for me, talk for me, and let the people hear your voice. And that's when, after he saw money, he decided to take over the whole thing, take over the microphone. And in doing so, he had to demonize Uwazurike. And he said so many things about Uwazurike. And that's when he was saying that Uwazurike is buying Igbo people, and if they are buying Igbo people, they are not going to get that Biafra. That's when he said this thing. But I will play other video where he's also saying other things.
I've said it before, and I will repeat what I said. If we engage in killing, Biafra will not come. That is one cardinal thing you don't do in Biafra. Go and ask anybody. Anytime you shed an Igbo blood, you kill a fellow Biafran, anything you're looking for will not come. Go and ask all of them. Starting from the death of Mbono Ojike. People don't know how Mbono Ojike died. The man responsible for the death of Mbono Ojike, where is he? Everything he asked for, he got nothing.
Okay, so like you understand, this is what he was saying when he was trying to take all those things from Uwazurike. But the thing is, by the time he got what he was looking for, that he now have all these things in his hands, his tongue changed. I think I'll play for you some of the things he said about Uwazurike to make the point that I'm trying to say. I think I saw some of those videos. I'm coming. I will share some of those videos with you guys, because at that time he felt like, you know, Uwazurike, we are going to deal with him, you know, we have to make Uwazurike look bad. That's when he was saying all those things, and you know, also condemning all these Igbo politicians and all those things, just saying that, you understand me, that they should tolerate, that they need tolerance, that people can have an opinion, and all those kind of a thing. But when he got the power he was looking for, that's when the whole thing changed. Why is this thing not playing?
I say happy, leave it, let's come together. Come together with who?
How is the audio? Can you hear the audio?
When Alibo was Alibo, such people will be excommunicated. They will not have any contact with the family. I traveled to a tiny village in Ogbaru. I must say. Those that know Onitsha well, if you follow the banks of River Niger, not on the Asaba side, on the opposite side of it, if you follow it and just on the banks, come off the bridge, Onitsha Head Bridge, follow the banks of the road, the village of Professor Ben Wabeze, where the Eastern Pilot publisher comes from. We went to a family where there was a family dispute where somebody broke a bottle and stabbed the cousin to death. Do you know what the villagers said? The villagers said that it will be better for him to be in jail or to die in jail than to come back to the village. The village said that very individual will never again in his life come to that village. That is how we are. We do not support abomination or condone abomination. That is what people must understand. So we must announce this whilst we're on the air. We are breaking a news this evening that Masop is supporting APC in Anambra State. Ojuku's son have just warned him to stay clear of this very gubernatorial election in Anambra State. That Masop is supporting APC. It is being carried by Vanguard newspaper as authentic. Ojukwu Jr. is warning Owazirike to stay away from Abga. The vandals. When we tell people, so people in the people who can't reason properly. It's very clear. This man campaigned for Hakim. This man took money from Rochas Okorocha. This same idiot asked Al Mustafa to come to our land, gave me 21 gun salute. This imbecile is now supporting APC. You could never, leave him, let him do his thing. Can you people now see the consequence of it? Of allowing evil to fester. Before a boil goes, you will open it. Before it goes. If it doesn't, it will not go. It will keep festering. It's like a cancer, you cut it out. These people are evil beyond imagination. They are the ones standing before us and Biafra. I have said to Washington before privately, if you step aside in this struggle, if you give me 18 months, there is no Biafra, I will hang myself publicly in Igbo land. I will get a rope and I'll hang myself in the public. If you step aside 18 months, that will be Biafra. If Biafra doesn't come, I will hang myself publicly in Igbo land. To tell you that you are the problem we have. Today, he is now supporting APC. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, like, I hope you can see where he's coming from. So, all that he's saying, these videos, so in case if you see them circulating that video that say, oh, he said he peace, all those, no, it was before. You know, when he was trying to take over from Owazirike, did you see what he said? He now told them that if you give him the mantra of this thing Owazirike is doing, when they do rubbish, that he will give them Biafra, and if you don't give them Biafra, they should hang him. You understand? I will share the audio. Like, you know, sometimes I don't even, sometimes I find them, sometimes when I'm looking for them, I don't.
Before us and Biafra, I have said to Washington before privately, if you step aside in this struggle, if you give me 18 months, if there is no Biafra, I will hang myself publicly.
Okay. It's been more than 18 months. Eh? It's been more than 18 months, guy. It's been more than a decade you took over from Owazirike. What's going on? Guy, you are not crying that you need your ear to be repaired. Nah, wait till they help. Wait till they stop, Gongo. Why don't you just tell them, say, as if you say, I never bring Biafra, Mona Kuku buy me. Eh? Exactly, nah, be wise. Exactly. Exactly, you know. So you can see, you know, why I'm showing you this thing, because he knows. Like, there are some videos he will tell them that Owazirike knows that their concentration level is very low, and that's why every day they will be telling them different things. He's coming today, he's coming tomorrow, because that's what they want to buy. Lies upon lies upon lies. So the guy, he learned from Owazirike, because Owazirike brought him in and said, come, I know you can talk. You understand? Come and help me and talk this thing and sell this market. So at that time, he now saw how the thing was going. He now decided that he wants to take over. And so for him to take over, he has to make Owazirike look bad. And he says so many things. And in fact, at some point, in some of the videos, he said what will happen is that they are going to buy Owazirike, that they cannot leave Owazirike, that they will buy him or he will go in exile. Like, that's where that video is coming. And, you know, and when he got power, he started saying even that the Igbo is a cost and all those kind of a thing. Like, the guy, I don't know, it's unbelievable how they don't see anything wrong in what he has done. So let's play some of the things he said about closing markets when he, after, in fact, there's a video he said, that they are not going to do sit at home, they are not going to sit in the forest, they are not going to sit in the he was saying all those things. And now when he now got the power, he started doing sit at home. So let me play another one. He was also talking about Wazirike. I think that's the one I've played right now.
And he hold you, I want get it. I say happy, leave it. Let's come together. Come together with who?
Okay.
A criminal?
Mm-hmm. So when he now got the power, let me play this one. He was saying that they should close the market, for example.
Anybody, any chairman of any market that is open, any market you open, the chairman will hear from us.
Mm-hmm.
In Biafra land, any market you open, you will hear from us. We lost 5 million people. And if you don't sit at home, we'll make you sit at home.
Okay.
People, no wonder we are suffering. You have no appreciation of the sacrifice of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
You think everything is mercantilism, is buying and selling. You convert every situation into a price. You always look at the monetary value of every circumstance you find yourself in. That is why we have saboteurs and traitors with it. They want to convert their position into money.
I hope you can hear the audio.
And they are so-called political elites. Everybody wants to be politically correct. Everybody wants to be politically correct. Everybody wants to please Fulani because of 2023, because they control INEC.
He's not a hero. He has been sent to destroy Alibo. He's not a hero.
All of you are there claiming this is our nation, Nigeria, without shame. You people, you disgust.
So this is the same person now that he has the power. He now start. In the beginning, he was saying that I'm not going to be doing sit at home, sit in the forest, sit in the bush. But now that he has the IPOB that has taken over, look at what he's.
Anybody, any chairman of any market that is open, any market you open, the chairman.
I didn't block you.
In Biafra land, any market you open, you hear from us. We lost 5 million.
He said, any market you open, you hear from us. Right? If you open any market, you will hear from him. And he wanted to say he would deal with you before he now tone it down.
If you don't sit at home, we'll make you sit at home.
If you don't sit at home, we will make you sit at home. So this is Nakano saying it himself. Yeah. I'll put it in the chat. He said Chineke kpoku no kundara. Because people are crazy. How can you entrust your life and your future to a Kolomenta? He said Chineke kpoku no kundara. Do you want me to play it again?
Market, we lost 5 million people. And if you don't sit at home, we'll make you sit at home by force.
Of course, what Ojukwu did, if he was meant to take any form of responsibility, we will not be here today. But because everything was given back to him, I'm asking to this question that our sister asked. He said, do you think Gowon was too magnanimous? Yeah, of course. Because this is the person that led millions of people to their end and they lost everything. And then you pardon him everything and restored him in full, everything you gave him back. But the millions of people, you didn't give them anything back. And that's why we are where we are today. There's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of pain. You restored this very person that caused the katakata. You gave him everything, gave him all the honors, he's still carrying his family along at state level. But the ordinary people, nothing for them. No restitution, nothing for ordinary people, Yeah, unfortunate. There's no educating. It's just there are people who joined my page recently, and he's a hero behind There are people who joined recently, and there are some people actually that don't know any other narrative. Until now, they have been getting the blessings of Nakano in one way or the other. So for the first time in their life, their ears is kind of itching to hear something apart from their bingo channels. Yeah. Exactly. So one of the problem we have in Nigeria is there is no crime that you will commit that people don't see it as forgivable. Like it's like everything you just say sorry, I'm sorry is the work of the devil. So people don't even grow up to take ownership of what they have done. They will say, "Oh, I'm sorry." They will say it's okay. They'll call meeting, family meeting, mama side, papa side. They'll go call somebody to beg on your behalf, and then they will say, I forgive, forgive. That one will go. So you can't build a society in a place like you can't build a lawful society like that. Good evening, Brendan. You can't build a lawful society. Like for example, here where I am, right? When you are going, for example, you have your ticket, you want to go into the train, and for example, even if you have a year card or you have a monthly card and you don't have it with you, you forgot it at home, they are still going to give you a fine for the fact that you don't have it there with you. And like you have the ticket, or maybe you clicked the wrong one, or some you bought the wrong ticket, they're still going to give you that fine of 100 euro or something. You can say, I'm sorry, it was not, I'm just coming, I didn't have the chance, whatever. Learn from your mistake. You have to pay that fine. Like you are driving and you are speeding, they are going to say, okay, here, it's your fine. We caught you speeding. And you can't beg your way out of it. Right? I remember the first time when I came newly, there was a young man in one of our relatives that I stayed in her house at the time. So there was one of our brothers that went to do some, this market, all those kind of thing, went to put hand there. So I was just coming and I saw people standing around. I didn't even know that they were police. Me, I was just going. So along the road, it now happened that they were police. Yeah. So that guy just went to the pharmacy to get something. So on his way back, they just kind of took him. So I was not asking the auntie, like, are you not going to go to the police station? Like it is normal in Nigeria. If they take somebody, you go after them in the police station. He said, no, you don't do that. So the law will take its course. So that's the problem we're having. Nigerian judiciary is the reason Nigeria is what it is today. The judiciary is the most corrupt I have seen. Like there is no justice, and they will delay that justice and until they will deny everybody that justice. So I don't know. We need to dismantle that judicial system and put another one, maybe a penal code or some. I don't know how the one that they judge the case within 14 days and it's over. This system that they are using is a horrible system. It doesn't give room for justice. It doesn't give room for people to account. And you will see a judge, somebody will be awaiting trial for 40 years, for 20. It's a travesty. It's a travesty, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. Who sent it? I don't know. I don't know. My admin is asking questions. I'm sorry, it's the devil. Let's sorry, heal wounds. Yeah, exactly. Everybody just saying sorry, sorry, sorry. Shagari government not go on, and the VP Alex Ekweme persuaded majority of Ndibo to give Ojukwu a heroic welcome. Yeah, that's this. So there's nothing you can do now that is seen as bad. Nothing. And it didn't start from there. I don't know. There's like I've not like I've seen so many things, and for them it looks like everything is forgivable. And I think that's some of the reason why people go abroad and they see the law. You say if you do this thing, it's death penalty. They will still go and do it anyway, because in their mind they are programmed to feel like there's always going to be a way out of it. I think it has not registered that not everything has a way out of it. Yeah. Also said Nnamdi didn't realize that his behavior accounts to dictatorship and terrorism. No, they don't realize that. And because of the way the Nigerian politicians are playing around it, they are playing around it because they are thinking about their political interests rather than the people and the community and the posterity. So our government so far has been like a neo-colonial government, if you may, because the colonialists came and everything they did for their interest, because this is not their country, it's not their country. It's somewhere you go and take something and go and put it back in your home country. It's a place you came to extract everything extractable, take any goodies. So unfortunately, that is the system they left, that they only build road to their GRA, only build road to the airport, to the seaport. You understand? So the rest of the village and the whole place was, left out, but they only built up those places that they are living. So when they gave over to our people are still thinking that they are the white man in a way, like that they are Europeans. So they still don't see themselves as equal to an ordinary Nigerian. So they are still neo-colonialists, like that colonial mindset is what they are having. Like I don't know if you have noticed it. That's why they don't feel like, for example, a Nigerian that feel like he has made it, he doesn't feel okay that maybe the school his child is going to, that the child of the neighbor that is not as rich is also going to that school. Like, because somehow they need to be elevated. And everything we do, we are competing against each other. We are not building community. Like German people, they are always about building community for one another. They are not competing with anybody. They know that some people have a high drive to go and do great things, succeed and break record, while some people are laid back, some people will try a little bit here and there, you understand. So they don't really compete against each other, and they try to have a baseline for everything. Their community schools, they build quality schools for everyone, the same standard. If anybody have a problem now, you go to the hospital in your city. That hospital is the same hospital everybody in that city will come to. So it's standard for everyone, right? The medical care system, the healthcare system. So they are building community because they feel like this is our own Deutsche land, German land. But we have not understood that concept. For example, in Igbo land, say this is our own Igbo land, our own. We have to build it. We have to put. So the people that get into power, their mind is still where the Oyibo mind was, to take. So they are only about to take, and that's why you see they only build palace and mansion where they want to live, on the road that they normally will pass, maybe some places in the capital. So they don't even know that their governance needs to reach every part of the village, every part of local government, every part of their state. They don't understand it. And they don't understand that when you're talking about education, you have to build quality schools in every village, every village have to have quality primary and secondary school. If you cannot do it, say every village, maybe every 2 village combined or 3 village combined will have quality school that they can easily access. So, but they think that development is when I build fine house here, I build fine house there, I build fine house there, and there is nothing for the collective. So at the end of the day, the collective is extremely poor. And what the Germans have done is the collective is average, So there is no drive to go and do anything to survive because the collective is average. Yeah. Good evening. Tribalism, there's tribalism, and within the tribe there's also tribalism. So I feel like as the way Nigeria is right now, I don't know why our people from the southeast are the one crying about tribalism. I don't understand it, really. Because there is no kind of tribalism they are doing in Yoruba land, they are not doing in Igbo land, they are not doing in Hausa land, right? So I don't know why you should be going around people's faces and be crying of tribalism, because there's always a resentment that follows people around when they are not in their natural environments. And that is also a problem in Nigeria. For example, the problem where another core problem we are facing in Nigeria is also related to the judiciary, but it's also that there is no punishment for tribalism. At this point in our national life, tribalism should be a criminal offense, a federal crime. If you can prove that somebody is tribalistic to you for under any guise, then it should be an offense. Just the way that the Europeans, the Americans have put hate crime under a federal law, that if you can prove that somebody is racist to you, because there is passive aggression, all this very subliminal resentment, but if somebody goes out to outrightly to do something against another Nigerian on the basis of tribe, it should be a crime, a hate crime, because tribalism is what gave birth to racism. If we were not tribalistic to ourselves, we will not see ourselves subjugated by other races. Our problem started with tribalism because we hate ourselves on the basis of tribe, and we do it to the extreme level, right? It's not as if the Europeans don't do it. Oh, like in Europe, they are what you call like Germans is like an ethnic group, like for example, any country you will call, because they all have their own small languages, But what they have done is to kind of sell a universal language of Anyị bụ ofu, we are one, to all of them, you know. But we are the one that have not been able to do that. So we are still so much into our tribe, right? So I find it difficult to accuse anybody of tribalism, because it is tribalism that is pushing Igbo people, for example, out of Alibo. If there's no tribalism in Igbo land, then Igbo people will be within Igbo land mainly, and build it up and develop it. So you cannot be boasting every day, I go here, I develop, I go here, I develop, when your region is in need of development. It doesn't make sense, right? So I feel like there's tribalism and nepotism. Yeah. Tribalism goes with nepotism, and we have it extreme. And I feel, for example, for all the business billionaires and all this thing we have produced in the Southeast, because of tribalism, because of nepotism, we don't have anyone that lasts beyond one generation or two. I've not seen, right? Because you are not able to build it into a company that can withstand, put it into some kind of modalities that doesn't have to do with family and tribe. So it is there in every region, So I feel like it's wrong to say you are tribalistic, you are tribalistic. I feel like all Nigerians are tribalistic. All. Like, of course, there are individuals that don't do tribalism or don't treat people bad because of their tribe, but it's prevalent. It's prevalent. Exactly. That's the bigger question. If Kanu can be released from detention unconditionally, that's the question. Why should he be released unconditionally? Why? Mogaji, what did you answer? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's what we are talking about, that the judiciary is our problem. So we are looking at what the politicians want to do with this case. Exactly. And who does it the most? Who does it the most? We are the one that does it the most. We are the one that are doing it the most. No matter what somebody commits, you will still be having sympathy for them. Exactly. Hate speech and tribal incitement has to be made a crime. If anybody come out and make any speech that will be inciting anybody against any other ethnic group or any other group of people, it should be a hate crime. And it's only in Nigeria that you come to social media, you see people are so free, they will be insulting women, calling women prostitute, like boldly. It doesn't happen anywhere else. If you do that abroad, you use your social media handle and you are writing to talk against women, to talk against any group of people, then it's punishable. It's a hate crime. So we need it, but who is going to do it? The judiciary that are more interested to promote themselves. They are not doing anything. They are not doing law in that Nigerian judiciary. And I'm afraid those people are like, even they rule, they will, this one will rule, this one will overrule, this one will give a judgment, the other one will overrule. Like, the Nigerian judiciary should be disbanded, honestly. If you don't disband that judiciary, maybe you see that man that day, he was saying when the wife was in office, he used his office to influence the decision that the wife was making. And the wife was in appeal court or something that has to do with politicians getting back mandate. So normally, if somebody came out and made that kind of statement, there's supposed to be an inquiry into all judgment that that woman took part in while she was in that office as chairman or participating in that court of appeal. But that one just went like that. That's the judiciary for you. Harassment, exactly. It means crime pays. So they have been doing it. They did it with it's not only Kano, right? It's not only Kano. Look at starting from Ojukwu, for example. The only Ojukwu was released. Ojukwu was pardoned. Philip Effiong, all of them, they were pardoned in spite of everything they did. So from pardoning Ojukwu, you have to pardon Niger Deltans like Asari Dokubo, for example. No, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter what they did, and then they are pardoned, and then Owazurike enter Owazurike, and then he's pardoned, and now Kano is released unconditionally, and then eventually Simon Ekpa released unconditionally, and then who knows who is next. So it's just kind of a vicious cycle. So I wish that we can have, if we can put these kind of things in proper perspective and say, if you bring up such topics, then it's treasonable felony and you will be arrested for insurrection immediately, that you will not have the chance to even establish followership. Yeah. Yeah, so that's one of the issue. There's even a video I thought I wanted to play for you guys. Let me see if I will find that video. But meanwhile, you can be asking me your questions. I will answer according to my knowledge. Yeah, so Nigerians, if you don't go hard on crime and criminality, it's not gonna. It's like everybody is kind of doing different kind of criminality, and everybody's some kind of a criminal, even, you know. And I'm grateful that this Mesomas case was laid to rest, that JAMB was able to actually confidently and competently explain that their server cannot be hacked, that is not in the cloud, for example. That was very useful. What JAM did was very useful, because if they didn't do that, it jeopardizes the certificate of millions of Nigerians abroad. If something like that can happen, because sometimes when we are spreading news, we don't know that foreigners are watching. So they are not going to say, like, as if we don't have enough problem with our accrediting of our degrees from Nigeria. And now they are not going to add this kind of level of invalidation that the scores that you need to even get to university can be manipulated, that you didn't even actually have the score that you could just manipulate and go into university and study. So I'm very, very pleased that they have at least competent hands in JAM, that they have that kind of solid system that obviously nobody could hack, or that they have not put it in the cloud, or that they are on top of it and they are changing the format to avert that kind of uh, scores that people can go and manipulate. I mean, it restored faith, the little faith that we have in our academic system. And for the people who want to jackpot, for example, you want to go and work abroad and you have Nigerian degree, I think, yeah, we need to give it up to JAM, because they kind of just validated our degrees, our certifications, that they were not manipulated. Yeah. Exactly. Nigerian medicine has always been forgiving criminals. Yeah. So at a point you have to say enough is enough. Singapore did it. And the criminals is not just because political criminals, it's also government officials. Anybody can just come and embezzle money, you cannot explain it. And you say, I will build roads, you never build any road, and it will go away with it. And a lot of Igbos don't understand the damage that Kano is doing. They will be saying, is Kano the problem of Nigeria? It's not the problem of Nigeria, but it's the problem of Ali Igbo. Are you serious? Please take it easy, because because we have a lot of people who have studied in Nigeria, who have Nigeria as their background. So we have to be mindful the things we write or outside, on the cloud and internet, because no bad belly person that will go and pull it up and say, you see, they are even saying it, that their degrees are not credible. So let's not give them that credence to say that our degrees are not credible. You understand me? There's another video I wanted to play with for you guys. I hope I will find it. Simon Ekpa was saying that you cannot, like, what made him a terrorist, that if you are not going to call Kano a terrorist, how is he a terrorist? You understand? And yeah, I think I will have to also look for the video that where Kano was talking about ESN, how he formed ESN, and kind of giving that long video that he has formed ESN and all those kind of a thing. Yeah. Coming, let me see if I will see that video where he was saying that what makes him a terrorist, that if you call Kano, if you call him a terrorist, then you have to call Kano a terrorist. I don't know where I kept that video because I wanted to play it for you guys. Yeah, so it's they are just birds of the same feather, honestly. And Kanu actually said that they should listen to him, that he's doing a very good job. Let me see if I will see that audio that he sent and said they should. Um, yeah, I'm not finding the video that I wanted to play with for you guys. Let me see if I'll play the audio. that Kanu used to endorse Owazurike. Just a second, I'm trying to find it. Okay, I'm not finding the audio. Yeah, maybe I will play it for you guys in the next video that I will do. Yeah, I'm not finding the audio that I wanted to share. People are trying to make up a terrorist and see Kano as he said. No, yeah, that I know, and that's why he said it now. That's the video that I'm trying to pull out, but I'm not finding where I kept that video. Yeah, he said it that you cannot make Kano, you cannot say Kano is a saint and then you are calling him, a terrorist or something like that. Um, yeah, yeah. So I will look for that video. I will share it on the WhatsApp also, because I shared some videos yesterday for you guys so that you can have also. Yeah, the thing is, they are trying very hard to make it look like Kano have come to do anything good. No, he has not come to do anything good. In fact, he did not do any good for Ndibo. He just kind of legalized criminality, this wickedness, mindlessness. Like, people were just going about doing things that's unthinkable. And I think when you mention Biafra, it just kind of takes away the humanity of Ndibo. I don't know. Like, it has a bad spirit, if you may, honestly. Like, in the name of Biafra, people will just be doing like how can you carry your fellow human beings the chopper? How? I don't understand. I don't understand it, but that's what, when they are talking about Biafra, that's what it makes you do, because it takes away your reasoning, and you begin to see everything in another light. You just begin to, like, you lose your sense of, I don't know, I can't even qualify it. I'm thinking of what is the right word to use. I don't have, you know this guy was placing bounty on Wike's head, a sitting governor. And I even heard that Wike was hiding at the time. Eh? Let me play that audio for you guys.
Wike offered 50 million bounty on the head of a Biafra. I don't want to, I think Wike will double it on your own head. Anybody that takes out Wike will get 100 million.
Did you hear it? He said anybody that takes out Wike will get 100 million. Like, as who? As who? And first of all, he turned the people that were following him against Igbo people. He told them that the word Igbo is cursed. There's nothing that they would do with the name Igbo. You understand? That kind of a thing. Let me play this one. He also told them that
they can't handle the truth.
That
So, Sajiju, you ask me now, what stops me now from reading out names and saying 99 countries is supporting Biafra? That is the best thing to say. So that when we say we need money for something, you will give us, yes? But I can't tell you that, because that is not the right thing to say. Even if there are, I can't tell you. Because how would you think that the person that took us to that government will hear us saying that this country is supporting us? If you go back then, will he take you to the government again? I told a story yesterday also, was it 2 days ago? about my trip to Israel. Do you know I've been to Israel before to go and ask for help, and they chased me away. I could have come and said to you, or maybe taken a picture at Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv, telling you Israel is now behind us. Okokwas is a bunch of lies. I went there, they drove me away. As if you talk too much. If you import napkin, you know napkin they put on nappy from children. You say you're importing exotic missile.
This was when he was still trying to make Uwazurike look bad. He said Uwazurike is just lying. Like him now, he went to Israel to look for help. They chased him out. That he could have come back and told them it's true. But later, eventually he did it. He went to Israel and he said that they are working together and all those kind of things, and all lies.
We don't lie on Radio Biafra. Never. And Uwazurike cannot dream of doing what we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he'll come here and say, if you have any question, you ask me? He can't do it now. We have a caller on Skype, is that correct?
Yes, my daughter. Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good evening, daughter.
Good evening.
We are telling people which Igbo people have failed to absorb and assimilate. Igbo people cannot unite unless it is founded on truth. Ezioku, without the truth, there will be no unity. So that is why we are making it and sounding it as an alarm. Unless you have the truth, you can never have unity. And how do you get the truth? Is by looking at people in the face and telling them who they are. If they have wronged you, you tell them that what they're doing is wrong. I'll give you an example.
If you have any weakness in the line, we will crack. We can't hold.
So these are series of the things he was saying to put Uwazurike in a bad light, like I told you before. So the guy knows what is going on. You know, you can hear when he said he went to Israel, they chased him away. That's him telling the truth there. But finally, when he got Uwazurike out of that airport, Uwazurike went to one corner. He's now telling them, all kinds of lie. I went to the UN, I went to EU, they will actually go there and be acting drama, go to Japan. They will be like who is going to grant somebody, nobody audience? Think about it. Somebody asked me a question, said, do you think IPOB can attempt violence on the rest of the South? Of course, the attempt they can, but will they be repelled? Will they pull through? I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like their power ends within the Southeast region. I don't see them. If they tried it, they will collect like they did in Obibo, right? And now they have crossed into South Asaba also. There have been reports of some uncompleted building like that very close to Onitsha border there that they took over. But the people have come out to protest, and I think the government is doing something about it. That camp that they put in that area, they are removed because the people say like in a day they are seeing up to 30 people where they don't buy. So yeah. It's not that Yorubas are what has happened to Ndibo can happen to any ethnic group. If you listen to consistent lies and lies and lies every day, of course it will change your program. It will change your way of reasoning. Your reasoning will be directed only in one direction. They hate me, they are up and against me. It's almost a kind of sickness, psychological sickness, like paranoia. Like if you look here, oh, he's looking at me. You look up, oh, they are coming. You look that, oh, look at that thing. They put it against me. So, if people are exposed, that's why if you see government censor a lot of things, because if you give access like that and people are able to penetrate into your country, your people, you see what's people are very easy to manipulate, very easy. People don't want to stand alone, they will follow the crowd. Yeah. So what has happened to Igbo people can happen to Yoruba, in my opinion. it happened to Germans, for example. Germans, they taught them that they are the master race, other people are beneath them, the other ones are not humans. The people that are handicapped, they don't have any purpose in life, they are going to die anyway, just buy all of them. So and we saw the extent they did it, that to the extent that they were buying whole people, they will put them in something like where they want, like use them like firewood, they finish them. So and these are not uneducated people. At the time, they were doctors, they were engineers, they were scientists, they did the unthinkable. Yeah, so it can happen to any population. um yeah, I didn't see any other question. Yeah. um all these things that they are doing, they are copying. There's a man that came to one of the programs that Ijele did some days ago, and he kind of gave a breakdown of where all these things were coming from, honestly. And maybe I think I can pull up that video. There's a video I also did when they formed ESI. I can't find that video in my collection. I don't know, because of all this change from new Facebook to old Facebook to new Facebook. I'm not finding that video because I wanted to play it for you guys, what I said when they formed that ESN, because all of them were coming at me. Nevertheless, there's a video that Ijele did a few days ago, and the man was giving a breakdown and even all this concept of government in exile, all this sit at home, where it started from, where they copied it from. So there's nothing they are actually doing from themselves, like from that is coming from them. It's just things that they are copying from all around them. Um, because of Facebook censoring, I can't play it, so I have to abide by the rules here. But I can pull it up and put it in the chat again. Why they didn't spread? Because they were not having kingdoms like you are having in the southwest or in the north, because they were just kind of having small village communal living styles. So they didn't form aristocracy, if you may. And I think it's, when you have some kind of aristocracy and the feudality that comes with it, that drives people to encroach into other people's territory. So all this concept of creating country and all this is foreign to Igbo. Igbo people didn't even have an army. That's how it was. Like, at least there was no collectiveness. It was just some corners, especially the people that form things like kings are the people that are on the edges, like people that are like around Anambra, like on nature, that were exposed to other cultures, like going up to Kogi, going up to the Uromi, to Edo. Those people, they've seen the kingdom of Edo, and at the time some people were also migrating into Edo to look for a greener pasture, because Edo was a very big kingdom at the time, right? So and you have some kind of kingdoms around also, like you have the Calabar kingdoms, and you have Ijo kingdom, Ishekiri. So you have, like, around all those water area, you have all those kind of feudal kings that were. So I think going into the hinterland was more for safety and being protected from nature and all that. So it was not in their interest to expand and conquer, because they were not having that aristocracy, having a king looking for subjects. It was like more communal, more like familiar setting, and everybody knows everybody, and everybody gets a piece of land to farm for their family and stuff like that. Not necessarily individualistic, but it was more like communal and democratic. It was not individualistic. It was communal, democratic, communal democracy. Like in every community, everyone there participated. There had to be an election, who is going to be the spokesperson, and before the person can emerge, they will have to go around and solicit support. So it was like core democracy from rural area, and everybody had a stake. So you didn't have a situation whereby the aristocratic family had all the land, and the people had to borrow from the king or pay homage to the king. To everybody had a right, everybody got land in Igbo land. So most of the land you see in Igbo land are still passed down. It's inherited land that came down generation. Every family was supposed to have a place to farm and feed themselves. So it gave each individual some kind of autonomy to fend for themselves, to be themselves while still being part of the community. Yeah, so yeah, I think the regions where they settled, they were more like, where it was safe, and where they didn't have to contend with much outsiders. So those people who are on the edges around Igbo land, you will also see the influence of all those other cultures in their culture, in their activities. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, those people there, they were able to form. They had the chance to form. I think the people in that part of Nigeria, they were also having kingdoms. So the good thing that when you have a kingdom, it's like having a state, and then you have to have an army and a war, and that will go to war and all those things. So you didn't have it in the core Igbo. These things we're talking, we don't. You only have something resembling that only on the edges. So like those Igbo around the parts that they are close to Benue, close to Kogi, those are the Igbos you will see kingship, that you see that kind of aristocracy, if you may. But if you are coming down, going down into the Imo, all this, you don't see such. You don't see such at all. You see the real communal Igbo living. There was no king, and so it was actually very difficult for the Europeans to come into this part of Nigeria, because there was no central leadership per se. So every community, you have to go to them individually, and it was really weary for them. So eventually they had to use the church. It was the church they used to conquer the Igbos. Actually, it was the church. And at the time, the priests that they were sending to Igbo land were soldiers. They were soldiers, and they led the war against the communities. So it's incredible that in the end we are fighting for the sake of Christians, and say we are Christians and all those kind of a thing. Yeah, it's an interesting history actually. So they use the church. So they are the Catholic and the Anglican. They used it to kind of conquer the people. Yeah. So many people don't know that it's not like Igbo people resisted Christianity, like they resisted it to the core, that the Catholic Church has to send warrior soldiers as priests, and the priests led the war into the communities. There are some documented account of some of the wars that happened around Onitsha, especially because of the waterfront there. So it was really important for them to conquer Onitsha, and it was difficult, but eventually they were able to put the churches, and then they used it to penetrate and conquer the people, the locals. Yeah, so the Yoruba people, they also have Islam. The Islam they have is not through jihad or from Fulanis, as many people are thinking. They actually encountered Islam before the Fulani. That's why they call it Esimali, the worship from Mali, because it's from Mali. When they talk about the richest African king from Timbuktu, from Mali, um, from Burkina Faso. So that's where I don't know, I think through trade routes, they came across those people, and they brought the religion back. They brought the religion back. So I had to do, I don't know completely, but I was able to look into it a little bit. I was wondering, like, why are they calling it a Simali? A Simali is like, instead of to say is. So that's where I understood that okay, originally it was something they adopted through their kings or people who passed through Mali for some trade route or something like that, and it was established, but it is not actually through the conquer of Fulani, contrary to what many people think. Yeah, exactly, Antnam. um they were forced, so there was a lot of practices that they were going through. For example, when it comes to twins, right? And but and when it comes to the caste system, eh? When it comes to the caste system, it was rigid. And because there was no king, normally when they will go to Calabar, for example, all they needed to do to bring down Edo was to fight the palace and fight. Edo was already a kingdom, it had army, it had fortress, it had a city wall, it was formidable. And they lost the first war, but they regrouped, and they were able to conquer the Obovera when Ogbasi. They took him to Calabar, and that time they believed that the Oba doesn't leave his palace, and so from there he was sick in Calabar, and that was the end of him. Yeah, so Oba Vera when Ogbasi and his men, they resisted the British, and they fought fiercely. And also those Niger Delta groups around that side, they also faced a resilient front. And they were coming with firepower and everything. So if they come to the village and raise down some villages and put down like how many men now, it never finished. So they were able to, but they had problem to bring down Edo. It was hard for them. So once they beat Edo, it was a free fall. So by the time they got to Onitsha, they fought. For example, you hear about the Ekumoku warriors in the Niger Delta, in this Igbo Delta part, what we call Niger Igbo Delta, So by the time they got to Onitsha, it was fierce. They needed to penetrate. It was hard. So they had to use the church. So they built the church, and there were a lot of disenfranchised people, the Osu people. So after they used the church, then they sent soldiers that were the priests, and with the members with the flock, they went into war with the local communities, and that was how they were able to conquer them. No, they became Muslims through their king. their king who you know, it's like when you travel and you come back, you have brought something and you bring it to your people. That's how they brought it to them. So by the time they will encounter the Fulanis, they were already Muslims in the Yoruba side. Yeah, what they were conquering is not the religion. It was not bringing religion that was the main issue. It was territorial. Kawo, I'm responding to you. It was more of territorial. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Luro, to me. Yeah, you are right. Yeah. So it was through their kings, and even this buying of twins, it was happening also in the south, in the Yoruba side. But at some point, the king also gave birth to twins, and the king stopped it because, you know, there was a king. But in our place where everybody had the right to say, and it was there has to be a long deliberation. It's difficult to effect any change, and so the church has to use the people who are falling victims to all the, normally when an outside force is coming, it's going to use the weakest link. And who are those weakest link? The people that you have used your system to malign, the people you have thrown away, the people you have cast away, the people you have maltreated, the people you have sold their children to the Ijos, like the catch people, you take them to the seaside and sell them. So it's all those people that found refuge in the church, and those are the people that the soldiers that came as priests were able to use to conquer the people and make them to accept Christianity. Yes, they were until a point. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. I said it's a good thing that you raised this topic now, because everybody is shouting, going back to our root and not going back to our root, and who we are and who we are not. Have they really came to ask themselves why we abandon whatever we believe and succumb to Christianity? The Eastern culture was never bread and butter like people perceive it. The pre-colonial society in Igbo was brutal. They were using human beings to appease their gods. The histories are very long. They were using, whenever you hear that this place is sacred, it was instituted with a fellow human being. And over time, they will still give another human being to that deity. And those people were the people that ran to the foreign religion because it offered them what they never had in pre-colonial Igbo society, which is protection. Yeah. I give an example. My grandmother is an only daughter in the midst of many. The history dated back to, she's in her 80s now, 80 years ago. How people fought so hard. Now, mind you that slave trade have ended 80 years ago. The people fought gallantly and effortlessly to rip her off her mother and sell her. Because the mother did not embrace Christianity, she was not shielded from their destiny. She fought all her life. She spent the rest of her life fighting to defend her only daughter. When her only daughter eventually had her first child as a teenager, the mother was no longer there to witness her pet, her grandchild, because she used her life, her effort, and everything to fight to keep her. So when people talk about what is chasing us from our region, this El Dorado that we are being promised, they should take a deep breath. They should think this. You say, what actually happened? How did we get here? Why our people are pushing back? Why is it that we are very easy to to surrender to narratives? The answer is simple. If you give birth to a young girl now, at the age of, when she was a teenager, she going to become a full-blown woman. She's going to need feminine hygiene care. If you neglect her, any man that offers her what she lacks will take advantage of her however he wants. That's exactly what is going on with this same region that people are promising our people El Dorado. If we get this fraud we are looking for, it of course you see the foundation is already laid in anarchy. This is a place. I'm not like saying yes, the Western should come and conquer them by this thing. But honestly speaking, conquering them saved a lot of victims. Some villages are still standing strong today because of the East being conquered by the invaders. Because they would have, if you are poor, I heard they used to tell us then, my older uncles then, that would say, oh, if you are poor, you are another person's commodity for market.
No. You are talking. No, that's this. All this one came later. I feel like that was not the time we are talking about. It was not this time we are talking about. Yeah, it was. There was already a lot of things.
Every action exhibited of a man by a man is a reflection of his inner mind. You see, this thing we are doing today, it is who we truly have been. Whatever happened later after they conquer, that was who we are. It was opportunity for us to manifest. Because, blessed them, you are a blogger. We came to the blogging scene when people were building millions of following, using propaganda and narrative and lies. Because it is not in you to lie. Because you do not have the peace, you won't have the peace of mind if you lie. That is why. Why did you choose to speak against the evil going on instead of calling it a heroic act? Because your conscience will sentence you to death even 10,000 times before you die. So it is exactly who we are that made us to fall for what we fall for. That's where I'm coming from.
No, I beg to disagree. I feel like it's like when you say this child is born like this and he came like that from the mother. So no, there's a lot that the society, the environment shapes, and I don't think so. Like when I remember my time growing up in the village, I remember one time that I went to steal pear from one of somebody's tree. They made so much fuss about it, it was a very big deal, So it was not encouraged. So I think it's wrong to say that's who we are. I don't. It's not right to say that. Yeah.
I will say about 10 years ago, I used to say that we are not violent. I used to say that, of course, my first degree was anthropology. And then they taught us that that's one of the key elements of African culture is the sacredness of blood. And 10 years ago, I would beat my chest and swear that blood is sacred in where I came from. As a matter of fact, there was people that wanted to marry me because they fight with knife. I told him that no, my people forbid blood. I can't marry you. But as I'm talking to you now, I can no longer beat my chest and say that.
No, like I don't know when you joined, but we are saying the same thing. Like if you expose a narrative for a long time on any population, what has happened to Ndigbo will happen to them. Yeah.
Right?
So it happened to Germans. So by the time it happened to Germans, you can't say they were not educated. It was just in the 1940s. They are educated.
It has nothing to do with their education.
No. I'm saying it's like you cannot say it's in their nature because they were allowed to be exposed to it. You understand? So whatever you are hearing, it affects your consciousness. For example, the Igbo people that always go to all this blog where they tell them all the negatives about Nigeria, that's the state of mind they will be in. So if you go and listen to Kano and all those things is vibrating, hang me, die, you will kill, so before you know it, it will water down in your mind.
You will be preoccupied with it, right?
Yeah.
But me and you, honestly speaking, do you know that I've never heard about Biafra agitation until 2018 or 19? God bear me witness. I've never, even when Nambekano was then in Nigeria, I didn't know, I didn't hear, I didn't see. Until either 2018 or 19. Now, long story short, when I first heard it, I heard Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast, I was shocked. It hit me really hard. I was like, Is a human being really saying this? I don't know if I'm making sense. Is there's that same thing I shared that shocked me that people heard and fell for?
It depends.
If that's not who they are.
It depends,
If that's not who they are.
It depends where you are at in your mind already by the time you are hearing that thing. It's like when the Bible say you throw a seed.
I did not have knowledge of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah,
I never heard about him.
I know.
The first time I heard about him was his speech. And it was these people he scammed in America and called them daughters of Jezebel. One of them was campaigning for the Messiah. So when my curiosity started to look him up, I heard his broadcast. I was shocked. I was like, am I dreaming? I tried to wake up from the dream 10 times that night.
No, what I feel is happening is because of the loss that came with losing all the loss in Biafra and all the people that died, and
it was in the first message of
so most of the elders were watering the mind of Ndi Igbo, especially those in the southeast, that these other people, like you are the best thing that happened to the face of the earth, the others are useless or not so up to you, or you are just so they can't bear to lose you, that's why they force you to stay with them. So there is a narrative on the ground. So there's a kind of soil where you throw a certain seed and it will germinate. That's what I'm just trying to say.
I agree with you on this 100%, because that story, yes, is sitting out there. Like I remember when I was towards the end of my high school, they will be printing piece of paper, selling it all over park, wherever you stop in the east to board a bus, you will be seeing all those, them sharing all those pamphlets. So you see, this Biafra agitation is very lucrative. Those pamphlets, I later realized, later in my life, that they belong to Wazirike, and that was his propaganda media. But at the end of the day, it never resonated with me, because somebody bought it one time. I was looking for admission. I boarded a bus. I think in the year 2000 or 2001. Somebody bought it and I was able to look at it. But it was irritating to me, just like Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast was irritating to me.
Yeah, because it is most likely that your family members have told you the lies and the horrors that came with Biafra. And so when you see it, it cannot take root.
He's educated. He told us the truth. He said, my father told us this, that Biafra is like Igari battle wage in Nagiji. That's the proverb.
Yeah, so you can imagine. So
it came from my uncle, who was born during the war, who was named after the war, saying that my father now started talking about the war and say, I was a young boy, I took part in that war, but that war awesome. That is what I want to tell you young folks about that war. And that was it. That's why when I see it, I will be like,
but if your father was the one that was praising Ojukwu as a hero, so when you see that kind of
as a matter of fact, my father called Ojukwu Emeka Oboso all his life.
So we are coming to the same conclusion. So we are coming to
that was probably let me believe you that it was because I was not fed with the wrong information from young. That was why when I saw something I had been warned to beware of, never let anybody pollute me with, I became like irritated with the whole thing. Because honestly, you see this in Nnamdi Kanu, throughout his detention in Nigeria, I didn't hear about him. I didn't know. I don't even look that direction. I heard about his name for the first time when they were jumping up and down, trying to sell the narratives to people, anybody that they can lay hand on in the name of their Biafran daughters.
Okay, all right. Our brother is saying that I think the Nigerian government has not assimilated the Igbos back into the Nigerian government.
I do not think so.
Into the Nigerian system after the Civil War, and that's the reason for the agitation. I
beg to differ. I don't think it is true, blessed on.
Okay.
I do not think it is true.
All right, let's hear from another caller. Thank you so much. Hello. Hello, we are listening to you. Can you put off your listening device so we can hear you properly?
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. Thank you.
Great. I was just having a brainwave.
Yeah.
I mean, few things you said brought a bit of brainwave to my head here. Sorry.
Okay.
You referenced the Germans, how they fed propagandas and how educated Germans bought into it.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah.
The difference between that and what's currently going on in Nigeria was that the propagandas that was fed by the Germans was from the leaders, was from those in authority. If you know how Hitler came to become the leader in Germany, you will understand where I'm coming from. But I don't think there is enough time to go into all that. But it's obvious. The propaganda in Germany was put out by leaders, people in authority. And of course, an average citizens will look up to people in authority. But the propaganda that was fed in the East that we're currently dealing with was not put out by people in authority. People in authority had the opportunity of a pushback, but there was none.
Yeah, it's because you are looking at it from a short fuse, from a short distance. You don't have to look at it as something that is happening now. You have to take it back to the roots. In 1967, it was propagated by people who were in government of the region of the southeast of Nigeria. So they pushed down this narrative, and that is where we are still there. And the Nigerian government forgave the people who pushed this narrative and caused so many loss, and without restoring the individuals, the people, but restored the person, the instigator himself, and in all his glory. You understand? So when you restore the instigator, Ojukwu, in all his glory, what you are basically saying he was right. What he said was not a propaganda. Yeah, you are legitimizing.
In a way, it was legitimized.
Yeah, exactly. So we are still on it, right? So Ojukwu brought Owazurike. He was his man. He was his guy. They were seen together severally. Even up until now, his wife is always seen with Owazurike. And Owazurike brought Nakano. He just wanted him to help him to propagate the Biafra business in London. But Kano saw the profit in it and took over. That's why I played some of the videos, audios from Kano's messages while he was trying to usurp Owazurike. So he did a coup and usurped Owazurike and took over. So we are still in the same Igbo evil trilogy. We have not come out of it.
All right, you're right.
Yeah.
Looking at it from that perspective, yes, you're right. And the lady who just dropped put out something which I think you sidetracked, the element of people still have the belief that the Igbos were not forgiven or reabsorbed into the Nigerian state after the Civil War. From my experience, because I traveled a bit while in Nigeria, from my experience, I think the stories that were told to the young generations of the Igbos after the Civil War was a bitter story of the war. And that continually breed the hatred seed that keep germinating, keep resonating. Because from all I saw after the Civil War, I saw a massive reabsorption of the Igbos in Lagos. I came from a house where my parents' house is called a mini Nigeria. There is absolutely no tribe in Nigeria that has never lived rent-free in my father's house. And I can tell you, honestly, it was much, much later in life, maybe about some 5-6 years when this saga started, that I begin to remember this. When we sit down as kids and we are all chatting and we are talking, and I know there is this guy. I remember this guy very well. We call him Ngozi. That's his name. His male. It was the first male that I would see that bears Ngozi. I grew up to think Ngozi was a female name, but he lived in our house. And the stories he says to us about the Civil War was a bitter story.
Yeah.
I will tell him that, look, the story we had from our parents was after the Civil War, it was a declaration of no victor, no vanquish. We are all siblings who had a misunderstanding. Thank God it's all set result, and we've all come together. But you're sitting here, I'm sitting here. We went to school together and all that. But it was a bitter story about Nigeria. And I think this is, it might not be all the young Igbos that were told this bitter story, but a majority were. And it's resonating, it's getting even bitter and bitter. And the authorities, as it is today, I mean, the Igbo leaders and the leaders of thought, governors and the leaders of thought went to Lagos to find a soft landing for the Igbos in when they were demolishing their shops.
Yeah.
But there had been 1 week of paralyzed activities in the East. I would have thought these Igbo leaders should have gone to Abuja to seek for the president's support. But maybe I missed it, but I have not heard that the Igbo leaders had spoken to condemn what is currently going on in the East. Maybe I missed it, but I have not heard it.
Yeah, so I want to address something. When you talk about your experience, you are talking about your personal experience. Interpersonal relationship is different from national or interstate or that kind of a thing. Nah? But let's even go there. This is the narrative that we were told, that we have not been assimilated, right? But meanwhile, we left our regions and we are in other people's region and we are living there.
More assimilation.
Yeah. And then immediately after the war, Ekwueme became the vice president of the country after the war, right? What other integration are you looking for? No? And then we have people, of course, there have to be some consequences when you pull out that kind of high risk insurrection to the point of war. So you have to deal with some consequences that comes with, for example, when it comes to military appointments, it becomes a high risk. You have to earn it, right? No doubt about that. So there is some kind of restraint. There is some kind of restraint in that regard, yeah. But politically in our region, for example, we have representatives, all representatives that is due to us. None of them was just shortchanged. They were sent.
Last time I checked,
so we have ministers. Yeah, we have ministers.
And every state is entitled to a minister in every administration.
So we have representatives from our region in every government so far. So this is one of those false narratives that are pushed year in year out, and it sinks into the mind of the people, and it feels like it's the ultimate truth, And then when you are insatiable, and of course, the politics that Nigeria have played so far has been tribal. You know, there's a lot of tribalism and nepotism in the government. And that's not to say that if you were the one in power that you're not going to do the same, right? So this is what we are living through right now. And you are not as exclusively the only one it's affecting. For example, like when President Buhari took office and was appointing only people from the north, and everybody was like, okay, they are competent and all that, you know. It was later on he started adding other people from other regions, right? But even at that, the civil service, you still have people from all over Nigeria. You still have people from all parts of, I don't know where the exclusion is coming from.
Can I just drop this? I just drop this and then I'll leave the space for others. You said something now that really nailed it all. Insatiable. And that really nails it all.
Yeah.
Why in Ghana there are problems with Igbos in Ghana? I'm sorry. What is the problem with the Igbos in Ghana? In South Africa, there are problems with Igbos. 3 or 4 days ago, I was watching a video, a clips of in America where there is a party and they come in to stop the party. All I keep hearing from the person who was running the commentary in that video was, we paid $12,000 to rent this hall and they are shutting us down in the middle of the party. I'm pretty sure they must have given you the reasons why they are shutting you down. Why don't you tell us why they are shutting you down and let us make the conclusion as to why, if the shutting down was legally done or not.
Yeah.
But it was all about, we paid $12,000 to hire this hall and they are shutting us down in the middle of it. I'm pretty sure police wouldn't have just walked in to shut you down, and it was all about, this is pure racism. We throw this around a lot. Tell me why they are shutting you down. They must have told you. They won't just walk in and say, stop. They would have said, well, sorry, we are shutting you down for this reason, for contravention of this element of your contract, because it is obvious when you hire a hall, you go into a contract with the owner of the hall to have even paid $12,000. You would have put pen to paper, and there would have been some small prints there. Have you contravened any of those small prints? Or if they are lying, tell us why they are lying. But not that. I don't know if you saw the clips.
Yeah, I saw the clips. You know, I understand.
There was absolutely nothing about why the police came in. Oh, that's the hall manager. Those are the police. Tell us why. They are not stupid. So let's ask these fundamental questions. In Nigeria, we understood, it was the civil war. We have not been re-assimilated into the Nigerian system, which is obviously is wrong. We've analyzed it here. There is nothing that rightly decides yours that has not been given to you politically. You might not have had what you think you wanted, but what should be has been. Every state has a minister in the government. Every state has a state governor. Lagos hasn't got 2 governors. Kano hasn't got 2 governors. They have 1 governor. Every state in the east has 1 governor as well. They have local governments. They get allocations. But yes, in Nigeria, we have something we talk about. What happened in Ghana? What happened in South Africa? What happened even in Cameroon? What is happening in America? What's happening here? I don't want to go to this. I don't want to say this, but let me just say, for clarity, I happened to work within the criminal justice system. And the research was done about 8 months ago. And within this, we were doing research on Black and Afro-Caribbean people in prisons. Right. Within this, not official, but just for a personal reasons, with the information that I have, I just begin to look at, who are Nigerians here? And I can tell you that the populations of the Nigerians in prison here. Say let's say 20 Nigerians 20 Nigerian passport holders are in prison in the United Kingdom. Out of these 20, 17 of them are from the East, which the names will tell you where they actually come from.
Yeah, thank you so much for that input.
You're welcome.
You're
welcome.
Yeah, so I will address that in a little bit. You can exit if you want to. So like what the brother is saying, I personally will still take it down to the war, because when there's a war, people are left with nothing. It's like you have to survive, right? And then after the war, Ojukwu ran away and absconded and left them to their own pains, and they have to pick up the pieces. And at the time they are picking up the pieces, there was no government program for every individual. The government announced no victor, no vanquished. So you can return to wherever you can pick up. But there was really nothing for the individual. So from that point onwards, it was like everything goes. The end justifies the means, and the means is for you to survive and live a good life. And I think gradually that's how it almost becomes a norm, that just go there and do whatever it takes. The end justifies the means, right? And Ojukwu did Ndibo many things, did them very wrong, and the current modern Igbo is suffering from that, but they don't understand what happened. It's something that you really have to remove all the pain and all the disappointment and all the anger, and try to stay objective and look at the information available again. So before I go, I want to play this video for you where Ojukwu was being asked, "Guy, what you are doing? Don't you know that this thing is going to cause war?" So let's listen to what he has to say before I will close this session this evening. I must say it was very interactive. I don't know what...
If civil war comes, and I do think it is imminent, you're quite right. It will for us be the price of freedom. Our people here have for a long time been prepared for this eventuality, and I am confident of their readiness. I think that when it does come, that the people on the other side would be surprised as to what they're going to get. And I'm confident that it will not last long. I can't say for certain what Lagos has got. When we lost direct contact with Lagos, they had some 4 battalions.
4 battalions.
Ill-equipped.
Not really equipped.
And I know that they have been purchasing a lot of arms since. And I know that they have negotiated and received a few armored vehicles. Prior to that, they had some scout cars. I know they have tried to get planes. I am not sure they have got them there. But on our side, we too have not been sitting quietly.
Okay.
There has been quite a lot of build-up. And I think what I have here is sufficient to maintain the integrity of Biafra and more.
Okay, now. So, my people, you know why I'm showing you this video to end it is like, just like now that they are thumping their chest and say they are ready, everything they will make, they will like that Shifa or Christopher was writing that they are going to, they have alliance, Nigeria will be sure that they will hold down Nigeria for 100 years. You know, at this point now, Ojukwu was saying this thing. Every Igbo person that tries to stop him at this point, I say, guy, what you are doing is out of mind. Stop this. They were called Sabo and taken out, some in prison. At this point, exactly what Kanu and all these other people are doing. Sabo, Sabo, Sabo. In the name of Sabo, more Igbo people were taken out, even during that time. So, and this notion that the story we have been told as Ndibo that make it hurt us so much and pain us is that we didn't play any role. We were just on our own. We were just sitting down. They just came and started dealing with us. We were innocent. We would just be going. We raise up our hand. We did not do anything, right? But that's not true. This is somebody that could have resigned. He was just the governor of the southeastern region, right? If he's having Mutini problem with the central government in Lagos, all he needed to do was run. The same run he ran, eventually he could have run at this point. So go on, we appoint another Eastern governor and everything will be okay, right? And unfortunately, the Igbo people that fell short to the mayhem, to all the crimes that they did in the north, that found themselves home, that they will begin to rebuild their home, they will begin to rebuild their life. So knowing that, okay, no need to go to the north, you can't go to the north, let's just stay here and build our place. For example, you know, that's what you could have done. But you don't go back to your place and pick up us and start fighting from your place and bring the war to your home place, right? So at the end of the day, that's just what started the whole thing, right? The number to call, I'm about to leave now because it's almost 2 hours. You know, tomorrow is still a weekday. But by the grace of God, I'm coming back tomorrow because I have free on Thursday, so everything is good. So I'm going to come back tomorrow and we can continue this conversation. So you see this one now, he call himself Onoha Uche. And in all this conversation we are talking about, there's nothing else in his head. Why? Because they have taken away the obono that God gave him and added coconut water. So he's empty and ready to be recycled. And you will meet what you are asking for, but not from me. Yeah, so I will be back again tomorrow by the grace of God, so we can continue this conversation. I think it was interactive enough. I hope I was able to answer your questions. And yeah, let's do this again tomorrow by the grace of God. And I will cut some parts of the video that is relevant and repost it. So you can see him boasting here. Boasting that they have everything, Nigeria doesn't have anything, you know, but last, he didn't even have an army. He didn't have anything ready. That's unfortunate. And then this same person was given a royal welcome when he came back. You needed to see the way they welcomed him. This is the same person that did all these things. They welcomed him. You know, they gave him a royal welcome when he came back. So I don't understand the rationale towards that. You understand me? So, but this is the reality of what Ndibo is facing. So there is not going to be a short fuse to it. If there is not going to be calm in Igbo land, we have to revisit this narrative for Biafra, and everybody representing the Southeast in politics have to take a stand. You know, you can't have it both ways, unfortunately. And they know it, but they don't have the guts to tell the people. The truth is, there's no easy way to say it, but you have to start saying it anyway. And then when you say it and say it again, the people will get used to it. And you have to start from somewhere. That's just it. Yeah. Yeah. don't reply him. You may get a ban. Don't reply him. What? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think that Igbo people need to concentrate on building a homeland that the majority will be living in it without a need to emigrate, right? So until we have that, all this thing is noise making. You don't go and develop other places when you need development yourself. So all this thing is chest thumping. It's just chest, like Itia Kanobi, just be chest thumping. There's a place for that. Like all this running around, all this hectic, all this by all means survival, by all means, all the things that they needed to survive the war. We have survived the war. It's time to thrive. So we need to look into the things that will make us to thrive. And I like what our brother wrote in my YouTube channel. There's a comment he wrote. He said that it's going to be difficult for Nigeria to give that room for that small corner in Nigeria, to be in foreign hands, because it will be like our own Ukraine, that anybody can come and use it, to start big katakata in Nigeria. So there's a lot of sense in that comment. I will pull it up in my next video, but right now I really need to go. So thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this program, and I appreciate you all. I love you all. Thank you for your support. May God bless you all, and may God keep you, and may the universe be kind to all of us. Bye for now.